Ooh, let's see if this works. Come on. Stream, fire up. Oh, brilliant! Haha! Mafia 3 is working with Shadowplay for the first time. I normally have to fire up OBS for it. So, hopefully, this will kick in and work. Oh, brilliant. It is working. Oh, excellent. I'm loving this. So this is Mafia 3 running on the HP Omen. Let's have a look. And I shall show you the settings that I run at. So display. Well, here we go. And bear in mind, Mafia 3 is a game what destroys machines. You need pretty much the supercomputer in China to play this game properly. But here we go. So I'm at 900p. Again, 900 is pretty much... This laptop is a very sweet 900p machine. The more demanding games, you're going to want to knock down to 900. You know, it gives you quite a significant frames per second boost going up to 900. So, frames per second I've got unlocked for you. Depth of field on. So I've got... Ooh, I didn't turn VSync on. I'll turn VSync on. I like VSync on because the tearing does my nutting. So here we go. So we've got frames per second on. Right. So we've got a quality... We've got a custom preset because... Oh, you will notice the difference between 30 and 60 on the PC. The 60 is a lot smoother because PC games are optimized for 60. So, yeah, you do notice it, especially if you're sort of spinning around, sort of looking around. Occasionally you'll see the buildings sort of jerk across the screen. But here we go. So I've got a global preset to custom. Now, the trick with Mafia 3 to get it running well is you can turn to ambient occlusions high. I usually have motion blur on, so high geometry detail, shadows to high, low reflections. Reflections are your performance killer on this game. Medium volumetric effects, that's all the lighting and fancy stuff. Anti-aliasing to low. So reflection and anti-aliasing, make sure they're low. There you go. And bear in mind I'm live streaming at the same time as well, so that is taking some of my settings away. And now the CPU is completely pinned at 100% now on playing, so I'm hoping this stream is going out smooth. In fact, it does look like it is. So I've not really played this game much. I'm trying to complete one game at a time. But there you go, I'm into the 40 frames a second. Now, when I'm not streaming, I do get a few frames a second higher on this. So, actually, the Shadowplay stream seems to be working a bit better. But again, as you can see, it's pinning my CPU rather than my GPU. So, the guy who said he's got the i7 version might actually... find that this game might run that little bit better, but I don't know whether it's worth £100 more. That's all, especially if you're not pairing it with the 1050 Ti. But yeah, you see my GPU's not actually being fully utilized at the moment. It's my CPU what's causing me frame drops, but as you can see, it's not running too bad. And you know, there are other videos out here of this game running on a 1052GB. Because they insist on putting it at 1080p, you're running it at like 30 frames a second. So on here, look, I'm just up to 50 there. So at the end of the day, you know, I've got details turned all the way up and stuff, and it's running rather nice. I mean, there you go, 40 frames, 44, 45 frames a second. I mean, bear in mind, this game initially, because it's that unoptimized, this game initially shipped with a 30 frames per second lock. So, and then the PC gaming master race kicked off. Oh, we can't run it at 30 frames a second. Oh my bloody god. So they unlocked the frame rate. But you can now see why they locked the frame rate because this game does absolutely hammer it. So it was sort of a get out of jail free card for the developer. But look, my CPU hasn't dropped below 100% utilization at the moment. I didn't realise my CPU was getting hammered that much. But I tell you what though, my frames per second are still into the 40s, which if you look at this game on other videos, comparing it with the 1050, running it on the 1050, you're not actually seeing frames that high. And it is purely because I knocked it down to 900p. And this is the only sort of place where you sort of get any sort of frames dropping is when you go through the trees. I did say that in my Grand Theft Auto. Look, the trees, just knock it down. See, I was about 40, 50 frames a second around the city. Now I'm just into the high 30s. But there we go, it's running. And the fact that I've got this, the fact that I've got it running on Shadow Play allows the stream to go out smoother. Ooh, the fans have ramped up. They're not overly loud, to be honest with you, the fans on here, but they have ramped up to their highest setting, which I've never heard before. Ooh, the CPU sort of easing off a bit. Hey, nice. But there you go. This is, again, if you lower your expectations and just lower your settings, you can get some really decent performance out of the machine. Yeah, realistically, as I said, there have been comments where when this was first released, a GTX 1080 struggled to run this at a pin 60 frames a second. So the fact is, it's running rather nicely. Again, as I said, it's the resolution helps out a lot. Dropping down to 900p on this game specifically gave me a 10 frames per second boost. So that is how much you are getting just by lowering the resolution. So yeah, again, as look, a lot of stuff is cranked up to the highest settings. Look, see, shadow quality. It's that's highest settings, highest settings, highest settings. As I said, low reflections. Reflections are the biggest killer on this game. The volumetric effects I just left at medium, and anti-aliasing low and low. To be honest with you, you don't really notice much difference even if you turn them up anyway. So, but yeah, as I said, 900p, and this machine will run pretty much anything smoothly. The only game I would like to run at 900p, but I can't run at 900p. Well, I can, but it doesn't give me the performance boost. Is Assassin's Creed Syndicate, because Syndicate seems to have a bug where when you lower the resolution while still being in classic full screen mode, it doesn't resize the Windows resolution. So if you put Assassin's Creed Syndicate into full screen 900p, you get sort of a box which takes up the 900p section of your screen whilst leaving part of the Windows desktop visible behind it. The only way you can get Assassin's Creed Syndicate to max out at 900 maximum window size at 900p is if you put it to what's called borderless full screen, and then it warns you that it takes away performance. So it's not really worth bumping it down to 900p to then have to put it into a mode which already takes away any performance gains you would have got in the first place. So yeah. No, as I said, Scottish Game, as this machine is not as is much better than the price would allow you to believe. You'd thinking, oh, I'm buying a budget gaming laptop. You do have to lower your expectations a little bit, but it's not too much. As I said, I'm running this rather well. Yeah, I mean it is playing, smooth as anything. You can't really go wrong with that. I mean, as I said, I'm just under 50 frames a second now, which is... Why can't I hit these guys? Ah, it's okay, I pressed the wrong button. In all fairness, it's not as fun to play as Grand Theft Auto, to be honest with you. Literally, the city is so boring. Literally, the pedestrians don't even put a fight up. In Grand Theft Auto, at least you get a few that turn around and try and punch you back. But yeah, as I said, this is running rather well. And bear in mind, I'm also live streaming at the same time, which would also take away performance off me as well. So the fact that is, I'm running this, live streaming at the same time, and it still runs well, and the stream is still going out well. So I'm quite happy with that. And that is, as I said, just lowering a couple of settings. And look, there's no sort of micro stutters or anything like that. It's just playable. So yeah, and I think that's the end of this video. Hopefully it's been useful, and I'll leave it up there on YouTube. I'll leave it up there on YouTube for the rest of you to see, and then obviously if you want to go back and have a look at what settings I've used, if you decide to buy this game on this laptop, then you can then fire it up and see what settings I've used, and then you know what sort of performance you're going to get out of it. But yeah, Scottish Gamer, I'm going to bed now. Anyway, I'm very tired and all. Thanks for watching though, and if you haven't subscribed already, hit the subscribe button, that'd be awesome. If I get to 100 subscribers, I can finally change my YouTube URL. So if you want to share my page around a few of your mates, that'd be greatly appreciated. But that's it, that's done for this stream. Thanks for watching, and hopefully it's been useful for you.